we're here to recap what just happened with our role play today. And now you said there's specific steps that go on, you know, when there's a sexual predator involved. Can you tell us about the steps that you're actually talking about?
Yes, there are actually 5 steps, and 2 of the 5 steps have 2 parts or multiple parts to it. First is called the intent, the perpetrator's mindset. They know exactly what they're doing, and it's very clear. It translates through their demeanor and their behavior. The second aspect is called things actus reus, and that's things that they do prior to commission of the crime. They go out and they acquire tools, camera equipment, whatever, to take pictures or video clips of children. And then after the intent, which there are 2 types, actus reus and what's called mens res, there's called interview. The interview is into 2 parts. One is called silent interview and the other is called overt. The silent interview is when the predator just observes children. This is the person that drives through a community at the end of the day, and he's looking for children that walk home all alone. He will even watch them go up to their front door to determine whether or not they're a latchkey kid. Upon getting that information, that lets him know that that's the type of victim he wants to go forward with. So the next type of interview is where he gets in a child's physical space and offers them something or asks for something, usually help. Can you help me find my puppy? Asking for help puts the child in the demeanor that they're thinking that this person is not harmful or not capable of hurting them because they appear to be helpless, needing help. And so once that's done, the perpetrator seeks to get the child into a position where their options are cut off from stopping the predator from doing what they intend to do, and then the sexual assault takes place. And then the last step is the reaction. That's the sexual perpetrator, predator, pedophile's plan to get away with it. So those are the steps. And each of those steps you saw actually acted out with James. So I'd just like to ask both of you, where did the predator do things prior to the event that prepared him for the victimization?
Well, he was spoiling. I don't know why he came to me. He was just picking me out of all the children. I didn't find myself special at all. You came in and gave me all these things.
Okay, what were you first given?
This T-shirt.
A T-shirt. So look, that falls under the intent actus reus. The perpetrator had to physically go to a store, buy a T-shirt, have letters printed on it. All that was done prior to the commission and even selection of the victim. It's part of his preparation. Now let's go to interview. Where did the silent interview take place?
In the bedroom, or no, after the.
Back up just a little bit.
In the swimming pool.
Before then. Remember I said the predator was paying attention to all the campers that were getting off the bus, and he identified one that was special to him because of what?
The kids were looking at him.
You were all alone.
Yeah.
You weren't connected or hanging around anybody else. So you made a good victim, right?
Antisocial.
Then when he convinced you to wear that T-shirt, that further caused you to be isolated from the rest of the children, right?
Right.
So that's very methodical. So now, let me ask you this question. Where did the first sexual assault take place?
In the pool locker room? Or?
That's a big ticket item, Christina, but there was sexual assault that took place before then.
I didn't even recognize.
When he first approached him.
And what did he do?
Give the T-shirt.
There was something right after that.
I'll give him privileges.
Remember when he first congratulated you for doing a good job? He punched you on the shoulder, kind of like the manly macho thing. But then the second time he affirmed you, he did something different. What was that?
He rewarded you.
Remember this?
Oh, feeling, yeah.
That was a caress.
Yeah.
That's crossing the line.
Yeah, right there.
And see, what predators do is they're not going to come right up at you and say, drop your pants, pull up your skirt. They're not going to do that. It's a subtle buildup. And once he saw, and I noticed that when I, in the role of Mr. Whipple, did that to you in this role play, I saw in your face that it kind of creeped you out. Yeah. But what the predator is doing is testing the temperature. If I can get this far with you, okay, now I know I can go to the next step. So that's where the first sexual assault took place, really. Yeah.
Right.
That was not a benign touch, okay?
Right.
Then after that, it was inviting him to go to the swimming pool, but when the other kids were asleep. So now we got positioning, right? I've already asked for your help to help us with picking up towels, right? That's the request. I've given you a t-shirt. That's the offer, right? I've made you feel special. I've given you flattery. That's the offer. Now I've got you in position. All the other kids are asleep. I got you in the swimming pool. And then I come up with this con game. Kids use the bathroom and pools all the time, right? Biohazard bag? Really? But he's 12. No parent has taught him about situations.
Like this.
So he doesn't even see it coming. So now he's in the shower after this ruse, this con game. He's thrown his swimming trunks out. He has no clothes, no towels in the back. That's the second sexual assault. He comes out with no clothes on, and the perpetrator views him. That's called voyeurism. Many times parents think that sexual assault has to be penetration.
Right.
No, it could be exposing a child to pornography. That could be the prelude to sexual victimization through penetration. So I touched him inappropriately. I viewed him, or not me, but Mr. Whipple, viewed him, and then something else is going to happen after the predator makes him feel like he's responsible for his own victimhood. He's going to use that as leverage to go further. And here's the other trick, and then I'd like for you to just see what you want to ask James in terms of how he felt, and if you have any comments about what you witnessed. Once a child has been sexually, physically assaulted, the other tricky part in the mind of the child is what happens if it feels good. Now the mind and body are playing tricks on each other. The child is saying, in my heart, in my soul, I know something is wrong, but it felt good. So that's the other thing that the perpetrator, predator, pedophile will play upon to make the victim feel like they really enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed something, even though you felt it was wrong, now it's your fault. It's very insidious. So with that said,
It lets the guy go.
How did you feel put in that role? Or playing that role? Awkward.
First.
Could you see the mind games that that he was doing?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Especially when he was touching me. It's like, why? Wasn't necessary. And then given the t-shirt, even I felt something was wrong.
yes. That's a good point, because a t-shirt really is a tipping point that many administrators at school systems, camps, church groups, they don't identify early. And if they had identified that one thing you identified as being inappropriate, me giving you a t-shirt, they could have stopped me and fired me right away.
Wow.
Because really, that was the first sign that Mr. Whipple is not right, because he actually said, I do something the other camp staffers don't do. I give my junior camp staff a t-shirt. So now he's letting you know that he's operating outside of protocol. That's the first red flag.
So if you had to capture for us what we need to look out for, the 5 main points, out of the whole role play, what's the most important thing to know to make sure we take away from this?